In other news, peace negotiations between the government and the MILF resume in Malaysia next week. High in their agenda will be the annex on normalization. Freddie Abando returns with this report.
The Aquino government's push for peace in Mindanao is moving on schedule, with only one major issue to be tackled by the government and MILF panels when talks resume in Kuala Lumpur next week.
We are really hopeful that early within this quarter, maybe very early within this quarter, that the last annex and the last addendum is going to be signed, which means that the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro will complete the negotiations, and we will now go into full implementation.
In 2013, both panels forged agreements on power and wealth sharing. Only the normalization process is left on the table for discussions. Normalization will address the demobilization of all MILF forces numbering 10,000 Mujahideens. Will they be integrated to the AFP or the PNP, similar to the formula adopted by the Ramos administration with the MNLF of Nur Miswari? Another sensitive issue is what happens to the firearms. What programs will be implemented which will enable them to live a normal life? Early last year, the president launched the Sahata Bangsamoro, a socio-economic initiative of government shared with the MILF to demonstrate his commitment to win the peace. Since the signing of the framework agreement in 2012, the ceasefire has held in the conflict areas. AFP forces and the MILF jointly conducted operations to battle lawless elements.
We are dealing with a very sensitive issue such as decommissioning of weapons and combatants, and ensuring the overall peace and security in the region during the transition phase. So these are different elements that we hope to be able to pull together. There's no item there that that program of the MILF in the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police. That's one. Secondly, very clearly we have a clear process of decommissioning combatants and weapons, which we did not have at all in the 1996 final peace agreement with the MNLF.
Congress will play a crucial role given the need to amend the current armed law, which established the current provinces covered by the autonomy. ARM will be replaced by the new Bangsamoro entity. Aside from its 5 provinces, there could be other areas that will be covered in the expansion of the territory of the Bangsamoro. This will be determined in a referendum.
Across parties, people are saying we want peace. Yeah. No, we expect that that certain representations will of course look more closely on certain things. I think that's expected. That law needs to undergo real rigor, but we are pretty confident that the higher interest in peace and what we will do for the country will be able to deliver us a Bangsamoro basic law.
Winning the peace sets the tone for development in the new Bangsamoro state, where poverty is among the worst in the country. For nearly 50 years, the areas of conflict, rich in natural resources, is shaping up to be a new frontier of hope.
We've always said that this is not just for the MILF, and the MILF has also said that this is, of course, for the communities that they represent, the whole community with the different stakeholders, and the rest of Mindanao. And what's good for Mindanao is also good for the country and the world.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.